You need to hear a truth right now, a truth that might change your life forever if you let it sink into your heart. There is no shortcut to winning in life, no magic wand that suddenly transforms your situation, no secret path that takes you to the top without sweat, discipline, and sacrifice. But there is one key that unlocks every door, one principle that has carried ordinary people to extraordinary success, and that key is this: focus on yourself until you win. The world is noisy. Everyone wants your attention. Friends pull you in one direction, family in another, society in yet another. Social media screams at you every second, begging you to compare yourself, to scroll endlessly, to live in someone else's highlight reel instead of writing your own story. But listen carefully. The people who win in life are not the ones who chase every voice. They are the ones who decide once and for all to tune out the noise and direct all of their energy inward toward growth, discipline, mastery, and self-belief. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. The difference between standing on the podium with a gold medal or going home in silence is not luck. It is focus. That athlete wakes up before dawn, laces up their shoes while the rest of the world sleeps, and pours sweat into their dream while others hit snooze. They say no to distractions, no to parties, no to excuses. They push through pain, through fatigue, through doubt, because their mind is locked on one outcome. When they finally stand on that podium, the stadium roars, but no one sees the lonely mornings, the skipped celebrations, the endless hours of practice. The truth is simple. They won because they focused on themselves until they achieved their dream. Your life is no different. Maybe you are not training for gold, but you are in your own race. Your medal might be building a business, creating financial freedom, writing a book, landing your dream job, or simply becoming the best version of yourself. Whatever your goal is, the principle is the same. Success does not come from scattering your attention. Success comes from discipline, from clarity, from putting blinders on and saying, "This is who I am, this is what I want, and I will not stop until I get there." Let me tell you a story. There was a boy from a small town who dreamed of becoming a professional cricket player. He had no expensive equipment, no coach, no fancy training program. His friends mocked him, told him to give up, laughed at the idea that he could ever compete with those from wealthy cities. But he had something more powerful than all of that. He had focus. Every morning before sunrise, he carried his worn-out bat to the empty ground and practiced alone. He studied videos of great players, adjusted his mistakes, and refused to let excuses rule him. Years passed. The same friends who laughed at him one day stood in a crowd cheering his name when he was selected to play at the national level. What changed? Not his environment, not his resources, but his decision to focus only on himself and his goal. This is what focusing on yourself really means. It doesn't mean shutting out the world completely. It means channeling your energy into actions that move you forward instead of wasting it on distractions. If your goal is fitness, focus means trading late-night scrolling for early morning runs. If your dream is building a business, focus means saying no to idle gossip and yes to books, mentors, and hours of execution. Focus means investing your time like it is the most valuable currency you own, because it is. But let's be honest, focusing on yourself is not easy. Your own mind will fight you. The mind always craves the easy path. Sit down to study, and suddenly your mind says, "Just check your phone for a minute." Start a new diet, and your mind whispers, "One cheat meal won't hurt." Try to wake up early, and your mind says, "5 more minutes." Those 5 minutes become the wall between your dreams and your regrets. This is why focusing on yourself is not just about discipline. It is about battling the greatest enemy you'll ever face, your own excuses. There's a famous writer who was once asked, "How do you manage to write so many books when most people struggle to write even one?" He smiled and said, "I divide my day into 2 parts. The morning is mine, and it belongs only to my writing. During that time, I don't answer calls, I don't check emails, I don't open social media. I just write. The rest of the day belongs to the world. But those morning hours, they are sacred. That's the secret. Focusing on yourself means claiming sacred time for your growth, time that no one else is allowed to steal. Here's another truth you need to accept. When you begin focusing on yourself, people will not always support you. Friends may say you've changed. Family may complain that you don't spend enough time with them. People online may wonder where you disappeared. They will call you selfish. They will misunderstand you. But remember this. The price of greatness is often temporary loneliness. The world celebrates winners, but on the journey to winning, you will walk many miles alone. If you can endure that, if you can hold your vision while the noise grows louder, then the same people who doubted you will one day clap for you. You stand today at a crossroads. One path is easy. It's the path of comfort, of pleasing everyone, of endless scrolling, of drifting wherever life takes you. It feels smooth at first, but at the end of it lies regret. The other path is hard. It demands sacrifice, discipline, early mornings, late nights, and countless rejections. It asks you to stop waiting for validation and start building in silence. But at the end of that road lies freedom, fulfillment, victory. Which path will you choose? Understand this clearly. The easiest thing in life is to be average, and the hardest thing in life is to be great. That is why so few people reach the top. But those who do, they all share one quality. They learn to shut out the distractions, they lock in on their vision, and they focus on themselves until they win. Greatness is not built in one day, and neither is focus. It is forged in small, quiet decisions repeated again and again until they transform you. Imagine a sculptor standing before a giant block of marble. At first it looks impossible, just a shapeless stone. But every day the sculptor chips away, one strike at a time. Day after day, small pieces fall off. People walk by and laugh. It's just a rock, you're wasting your time. But the sculptor keeps striking. Weeks later, the outline begins to show. Months later, the details emerge. And one day, the same people who laughed are stunned because from the stone rises a masterpiece. That is what happens when you focus on yourself. At first, progress is invisible. It feels like nothing is changing. But if you keep going, if you keep chipping away, the masterpiece of your life begins to appear. The challenge is that most people quit before the sculpture is finished. They start with energy, but the first time it feels boring. The first time they face criticism. The first time results don't show, they give up. And then they wonder why success always feels far away. Listen carefully. Success is not a single giant leap. It is thousands of small, boring, invisible steps taken with discipline. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they didn't get there overnight. They kept showing up when no one was clapping. They kept working when no one was watching. They stayed focused long enough to turn invisible effort into visible results. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed more than 1,000 times while inventing the light bulb. Imagine if he had stopped after his first 100 attempts, or even his first 900. The world might still be in darkness. But Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work." His focus was unshakable. He didn't waste time complaining. He didn't compare himself to others. He didn't listen to critics. He focused only on the next experiment, the next step, until the light finally shone. And today, the whole world lives in that light. That is the power of relentless focus. The world is full of distractions designed to steal your time. Notifications ping constantly, pulling your mind in every direction. Social media thrives on your attention, not your success. Every minute you give away to meaningless scrolling is a minute stolen from your dream. Imagine if you added up all the hours you spend each week distracted. What if you invested that same time in learning, building, practicing, creating? Where would you be a year from now? 5 years from now? The difference between a wasted life and a fulfilled one is often nothing more than the difference between distraction and focus. Here's something to think about. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you are saying no to your future. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you are voting against your own dreams. But every time you resist temptation, every time you stay on track, every time you choose discipline, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. Success is not about one big decision. It is about the votes you cast for yourself day after day. Let me tell you about a young woman who dreamed of becoming a doctor. Her family was poor, her house was noisy, and she had no private space to study. While her classmates had quiet rooms and expensive tutors, she had to sit under a streetlight at night with her books. Many people would have given up, saying the odds were against them. But she focused. She told herself, "If I give everything I have, if I shut out the noise and pour my heart into my studies, I will win." Years later, she walked across the graduation stage, wearing her white coat, her family crying tears of joy. What carried her there? Focus. She could have blamed her environment, but she chose to control the one thing she could, herself. This is your lesson. You cannot always control the world, but you can always control your focus. Circumstances may not be perfect, resources may be limited, people may doubt you, but your ability to focus is always in your hands. That is why some of the greatest success stories come from people who had nothing but a burning determination to win. But focusing on yourself is not just about hard work. It is also about clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Many people work hard but stay stuck because they don't know what they're truly aiming for. They are busy, but they are not productive. They are active, but they are not advancing. Imagine driving a car at full speed with no destination. You will burn fuel, cover distance, but you will never arrive anywhere meaningful. That is how many people live their lives. Clarity begins with asking yourself hard questions. What do I really want? Why does it matter to me? Who do I want to become? The answers may not come instantly, but the act of asking shifts your focus from living on autopilot to living with purpose. Once you have clarity, every decision becomes easier. If your dream is to be healthy, then skipping the gym no longer feels like a small choice. It feels like a betrayal of your vision. If your dream is to build wealth, then wasting money on things you don't need no longer feels harmless. It feels like sabotage. Focus sharpens when your purpose is clear. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the sun. The sun's rays are powerful but scattered, they only provide warmth. However, when you concentrate those rays through the glass, they become so focused they can ignite fire. Your mind works the same way. Scattered, it achieves little. Focused, it becomes unstoppable. The question is, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on problems or solutions? On fears or opportunities? On what others think or on what you are building? Whatever you focus on expands. If you feed your mind negativity, your life fills with doubt. If you feed it growth, discipline, and vision, your life fills with possibility. The choice is yours every single day. There is a reason airplanes are designed with blinders for horses used in races. Those blinders are not to limit the horse, but to protect it from distractions, to keep its eyes only on the track ahead. Imagine if the horse kept turning its head to watch the competition. It would stumble, slow down, maybe even fall. Humans are no different. The moment you start comparing yourself to everyone else, you lose momentum. Your journey is not their journey. Your timeline is not their timeline. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Stay focused on outrunning your old self, not on outshining others. And here's the irony. When you stop competing with others and start competing with yourself, you often end up surpassing everyone else anyway. People waste so much energy looking sideways, trying to keep up with trends, trying to outdo their neighbors, trying to prove their worth to strangers. That energy, redirected inward, could create something extraordinary. The real measure of focus is not what you start, but what you finish. Many people start strong but finish weak. They buy the books but never read them. They join the gym but quit after 2 weeks. They launch a business but abandon it at the first obstacle. Remember this: Consistency beats intensity. It is better to do a little every day with focus than to do a lot once in a while and quit. Drops of water can carve stone, not by force, but by consistency. You may not control your natural talent, you may not control your starting point, but you control your focus and your consistency. And those two things alone can take you further than talent ever could. The most talented person in the room often loses to the one who simply refuses to quit. So when the journey gets tough, remind yourself, the storm will pass, the pain will fade, but the discipline you built by staying focused will remain forever. That discipline becomes your greatest strength, a weapon you can use in every area of life. Every journey worth taking will test you. The moment you decide to focus on yourself, life seems to push back. Obstacles appear, temptations increase, critics grow louder. It almost feels as if the universe is asking, do you really want this, or are you just pretending? And here lies the secret. Most people quit when the test arrives. They see struggle as a sign to stop, when in truth it is only a filter. The filter removes the ones who are not serious, leaving behind the few who refuse to be shaken. Those few, the ones who endure, they are the ones who win. Think of a seed planted in the soil. Before it ever grows into a tree, it must push through the heavy earth above it. In the darkness of the soil, it faces weight, pressure, resistance. If the seed gives up, it dies buried. But if it keeps pushing, slowly, persistently, one day it breaks through the surface and sees the sun. That is your journey. When you feel buried by problems, remember, maybe you are not buried at all. Maybe you are planted. And the struggle you feel is only the soil you must break through before you bloom. But here is the challenge. Breaking through requires patience. We live in a world addicted to speed, fast food, fast entertainment, instant likes, instant dopamine. We want everything now, but the truth is, meaningful success cannot be microwaved. It is cooked slowly in the fire of discipline. The oak tree you admire took years to grow. The athlete you cheer for trained a decade before you ever knew their name. The company you admire started in a garage, struggling for years before becoming a household name. If you are serious about winning, you must be willing to wait, to work in silence, to trust the process. Let me tell you a story about patience and focus. There was a bamboo farmer in China. He planted bamboo seeds and watered them daily. After the first year, nothing happened. The second year, still nothing. The third year, the ground remained bare. 4 years passed, and still not a single sprout appeared. Most people would have given up, thinking the seeds were dead. But he kept watering. Then, in the 5th year, something incredible happened. The bamboo shot up almost 90 feet in just 6 weeks. But here's the truth. The bamboo was not growing in those 6 weeks. It had been growing roots for years, building a foundation strong enough to support that rapid growth. That is what focus and patience create. People will not see your roots. They will not see the silent years. They will only see your sudden rise. But you will know you were growing all along. This is why you must not compare your timeline with anyone else's. Some people bloom early, some bloom later, but what matters is that you keep growing. Comparison is poison. It robs you of joy, it blinds you to your own progress, it shifts your focus away from your path. Imagine a runner in a marathon who spends the whole race looking sideways at other runners. They will stumble, they will fall behind. The wise runner keeps their eyes forward, one step at a time, knowing the only goal is to finish strong. So keep your eyes on your lane. Your time will come if you don't quit. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is the greatest thief of focus. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. It whispers in your ear, what if you try and fail? What if people laugh? What if you're not good enough? But understand this, fear is a liar. Most of the things you fear will never happen, and even if they do, failure is not the end. It is part of the process. Every failure teaches you, shapes you, strengthens you. Think of fear like a shadow. It looks big, but it disappears the moment you shine light on it. And the light is action. The more you act, the smaller fear becomes. One of the greatest examples of defeating fear comes from Michael Jordan. In high school, he was cut from his basketball team. Imagine the humiliation, the disappointment. Many would have quit right there. But Jordan turned that pain into focus. He practiced harder than anyone else, he sharpened his skills, and he kept going. Years later, he became the greatest basketball player in history. He once said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His greatness was not in avoiding failure, but in focusing beyond it. This is your lesson too. Don't fear failure, fear inaction. Don't fear mistakes, fear wasted potential. The real tragedy is not falling, it is never trying. If you focus on yourself, failure becomes fuel, rejection becomes redirection, obstacles become opportunities. Every experience becomes a stepping stone if you refuse to quit. But focus is not only about avoiding distraction and facing fear. It is also about building habits that support your goals. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are weak, your dreams collapse. If your habits are strong, your dreams stand tall. Think of habits as the bricks that build the house of your future. Every day you lay a brick. Some days it feels small, but over time a structure rises that protects and sustains you. Take the habit of reading. A single book may not change your life overnight, but 100 books will change how you think, how you act, how you see the world. Take the habit of exercise. One workout may not transform your body, but 1,000 will. Take the habit of saving money. One deposit may not make you rich, but consistent saving will give you freedom. The secret is simple. Small habits, done consistently, compound into massive change. Let me give you another story. A man once decided to write 1 page every day. Just 1 page. It seemed small, almost insignificant. But a year later he had 365 pages, enough for a book. In 10 years he had written more than 10 books, all because of one small habit, done daily. That is the compound power of focus. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year. Focus is what bridges that gap. So ask yourself, what habits are you building? Are they pulling you closer to your dream or pushing you further away? Every choice you make either feeds your future or starves it. Every action is a seed. Sow carelessly and you harvest regret. Sow with focus and you harvest victory. Another crucial part of focusing on yourself is protecting your environment. You cannot grow in toxic soil. If the people around you constantly drain you, mock you, or distract you, your energy will vanish. You need an environment that supports your focus. That doesn't mean cutting everyone off, but it does mean being intentional. Spend more time with those who inspire you, less time with those who hold you back. If you can't find inspiring people in person, find them in books, podcasts, mentors online. Remember, the voices you listen to shape the life you live. Choose wisely. Sometimes protecting your environment means setting boundaries, saying no. And this is hard, because many of us are taught to please everyone, to never disappoint. But if you say yes to everything, you say no to yourself. Focus requires the courage to say, I can't do that. I'm working on me. And the people who truly care for you will understand. Those who don't were never meant to be your long-term companions anyway. Now imagine your life 5 years from today. Imagine 2 versions of yourself. One version keeps living as usual, distracted, unfocused, giving in to fear and excuses. Where does that version end up? Probably stuck, frustrated, surrounded by regret. Now imagine the other version, the one who starts focusing today. The one who chooses discipline, who builds habits, who protects their environment, who refuses to quit. Where does that version end up? Stronger, freer, closer to their dreams, perhaps even living them. The difference between those 2 futures is not luck. It is focus. And the best part? You don't have to wait years to feel the change. The moment you decide to focus, the moment you take control of your time, your energy, your choices, you feel the shift inside. You feel powerful, alive, aligned, because deep down, every human soul craves growth. When you focus on yourself, you give your soul the fuel it was always hungry for. You see, the ultimate power lies within your ability to take consistent, focused action every single day. While most people are waiting for some magical moment to begin, you have already taken the first step. You've decided to focus on yourself, to break away from distractions, and to commit to the path of personal growth. It may feel lonely at times, it may feel like the results are slow, but trust this, the work you're putting in now will pay off. It's the law of compound growth. Small, consistent actions add up to extraordinary results. But here's the truth. The moment you start focusing on yourself, life will test you even more. The distractions will grow louder. Your doubts will intensify. The world will push you to see if you're really serious about your goals. This is the moment when most people break. They throw in the towel. They turn back. They fall to the pressure. But this is also the moment that separates the winners from the quitters. The ones who succeed are the ones who can take the pressure, who can stay grounded and focus on their long-term vision, even when everything around them seems chaotic. The biggest test of your focus will come when things get tough, when you face failure, when everything seems like it's falling apart. I want you to think of failure not as an obstacle, but as a guide. Failure is feedback. It's showing you where you need to improve. It's showing you what you need to adjust. But most people fail and they stop. They get discouraged. They let the fear of failure paralyze them. The winners, however, fail and keep going. They fail forward. Every failure, no matter how big or small, becomes a lesson in their journey. They know that failure is simply a stepping stone towards success. There is a saying that goes, "A ship is always safe in the harbor, but that is not what ships are built for." The same is true for you. It's easy to stay comfortable, to stay in your safe zone, to avoid failure. But if you want to truly grow, you must leave the harbor. You must set sail into uncharted waters, face the storms, and navigate through the challenges. You will face obstacles, but each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. The storms won't last forever, but your ability to weather them will make you stronger. Let me tell you a story about a man named J.K. Rowling. She was a single mother living on welfare when she wrote the first Harry Potter book. Her manuscript was rejected by 12 publishing houses before it was finally accepted by one. Imagine the rejection, the self-doubt, the temptation to quit. She could have given up, but she didn't. She kept writing, kept believing in her vision, kept pushing forward despite the setbacks. And the rest, as they say, is history. She became one of the richest and most successful authors in the world. But it wasn't the lack of rejection that got her there. It was her unwavering focus on her dream. She stayed committed when everyone else told her it was impossible. This is a reminder that rejection is not the end. It's part of the process. Every no is a step closer to the right yes. Every door that closes forces you to find another one, to innovate, to think outside the box. Do not fear rejection. Embrace it. Learn from it. Use it to fuel your focus and drive. Because at the end of the day, your dreams are worth every rejection, every obstacle, every moment of discomfort. But the secret ingredient that most people miss in their pursuit of success is discipline. Focus is nothing without discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and reality. It's the difference between wishing for success and working for it. It's the difference between a dream that stays a dream and a dream that becomes a reality. The disciplined person wakes up early, works on their goals even when they don't feel like it, and consistently pushes themselves to improve. There's a popular saying that goes, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Your systems are your habits, your routines, your daily actions. If your systems are weak, your goals will stay out of reach. But if your systems are strong, your goals are inevitable. A person who wakes up early, writes in their journal, goes for a run, eats healthy, and works on their craft every single day is going to achieve success. It's a law of nature. Take the story of a writer who writes every day. It doesn't matter if they're tired or uninspired, they write. It's the discipline that turns a few words a day into an entire novel. It's the discipline that turns a casual gym goer into an athlete. It's the discipline that turns an idea into a business. One of the best examples of discipline comes from the world of sports. Think about Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer. He didn't just train a little, he trained relentlessly for hours every single day, for years. His goal wasn't just to be the best in the world, it was to push himself beyond what anyone thought was possible. And he achieved it, not just once, but repeatedly. His success was a result of his discipline, his relentless focus on his goal, his commitment to putting in the work. Even when the world was watching, discipline will make you do what you don't want to do, so you can achieve what you want to achieve. It will make you wake up early when you'd rather sleep in. It will make you study when you'd rather watch TV. It will make you work harder when you're tempted to take a break. The disciplined mind knows that the rewards come later, but they come to those who are willing to sacrifice today. And here's the kicker. Discipline isn't just about doing the hard work. It's about saying no to the things that distract you. Every time you choose to focus on your goals, you say no to something else. Every time you say no to the distractions, you're saying yes to your dreams. The more you say no to the unnecessary things in your life, the more space you create for the things that truly matter. Think about your day. How many times are you pulled in different directions? How many times are you distracted by things that have nothing to do with your goals? It's time to cut out the noise. It's time to say no to the things that don't serve your vision. Focus is about saying no to distractions and yes to your future. One of the greatest dangers of distraction is the illusion of progress. It's easy to feel busy. It's easy to scroll through social media, answer emails, attend meetings, and feel like you're getting things done. But being busy is not the same as being productive. You can be busy all day long and still be no closer to your goals. The key is to focus on the activities that truly move you forward. If you want to achieve your goals, you must learn to prioritize. You must identify the tasks that are most important and put them at the top of your list. The less important things, the distractions, the time wasters, need to go lower on your list, or even off it entirely. Prioritize what matters most, and you will see how quickly your focus starts to pay off. You have a limited amount of time each day. Time is your most valuable resource. Once it's gone, you can never get it back. So ask yourself, are you using your time wisely? Are you spending it on the things that matter most? Are you giving your time and energy to the things that will help you grow, or are you wasting it on distractions that lead nowhere? Every single day is an opportunity to move closer to your goals. You don't need to make huge leaps every day, but you do need to make progress. If you commit to improving by just 1% each day, in 1 year, you'll be 365% better than you are right now. That's how powerful focus can be. Now think about your future. Imagine 5 years from now, you look back at this moment. What would you want to see? Would you be proud of the work you put in? Would you be proud of how focused you were? Would you be proud of the sacrifices you made? Because the choices you make today will determine that future. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. Focus on yourself. Make the decision to take action and trust that the path you're walking is the one that will lead you to your dreams. This is your time. This is your moment.